Superman and Lois, episode 13 of the second season. Two more left after this. We got one more break coming up, and then the final two episodes will drop. Don't think they're going to be oversized. I get it. It's fine. I'm accepting what the show's being. Okay. Great arc with Lana in the past two episodes. I really dug where we were going. This episode, I really felt the both COVID nature of things, and I felt the filler. I don't think this episode was that great. It ended on a strong note. Let's get that out of the way because I think that's the most important part of this episode. Natalie gets to wear the steel suit. She looked incredible. I love seeing that. It's just a little baby version of the steel suit. It's so adorable. I love it. Clark fights Allie, gets his ass kicked, kind of loses his power, gets put into a coma. That's the only thing that happens in this episode. Really, there's a couple small moments that we'll get into. But like that's kind of like the crux of this thing. It's like he's in the coma now. I've been saying this for a while, and I'm just going to reiterate it again before we get into the rest of this episode. They're going to do Reign of the Supermen in some way, okay? They got like a Superboy. They got two Superboys technically if you count John L. They got a Steel. They got two Steels. Tal-Rho could be the Eradicator. There's going to be a Reign of the Supermen thing going on, and I think that's awesome. I think that's very needed for this show. It could be cool. And that's kind of like the big moment of this episode. The rest of it, I'll be honest, I liked, but I didn't love. And the stuff I didn't love was the stuff with Lucy. Yeah, Lucy. I don't know why I said Lacey, because I know why I said Lacey. I'm not going to say why I said Lacey. It's because, why am I doing this? Where is this going? I'm writing a script with a character named Lacey. That's where that was going. Lucy Lane. Oh, that was a big waste of time. But we're going to keep it in because I like authenticity in my stupidity. Lucy was a big part of this episode, and I think this was her entire arc for the show. It kind of lost its momentum, and you felt that in here because since the beginning of her introduction, it's been Daddy and sister trying to get her to come back. And it doesn't feel like it went anywhere. It's kind of like just in this episode where she admits that she kind of needs to come back to her daddy because her daddy gets hurt. And I'm like, okay, that's something. Long build up for anticlimactic though, because like every single part of the show has been like, Lucy's with us, now she's against us, we're getting her back, and now she's pulling away. So much so where there's like flashbacks in this episode about how Lucy met Allie Astor. I'm like, really? This is what we're doing? We're spending the time with this? Like, we don't really need anything. We get the subtext, right? The huge theme of it is like Lois and Lucy are broken because of their mom not being there. And I get that. I think the show was using it as a crux too much as opposed to letting it be more than just that for a reason. Because even Sam's like, I tried. I'm sorry. I thought I could do better, but I obviously didn't. And they kind of excuse that for him. But the absence of the mother, I understand, is a big deal for these characters. But they've also kind of grown away from that, I feel. And I guess you could say they're trying to find that motherly figure. That's why Lucy went to Allie in the first place. But I feel like we get that. You don't need to show us 3 flashbacks, all varying in length, depicting that moment, because we got that from the context of the present day. Having the flashback feels more like filler as opposed to growing this narrative. It felt like we have Jenna Dewan for a certain amount of appearances or contract. Let's do something where she's appearing a little bit more. The first flashback is kind of cool where she's talking to Allie, just like, yeah, it's hard being second fiddle to Lois Lane. And she's like, well, when did you write yourself off as being a special person? I'm like, hey, that makes sense. Being the shadow of your successful sibling, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure some people will figure that out and understand that in big ways. And I like it for that. But everything else, where she gets a new apartment, where we get the confrontation before she goes talk to daddy and sister, and the confrontation after she talks to daddy and sister, are those really important? Did we really need them? We didn't, because they didn't add anything. Surprise, surprise. That just happens. Also, we do have to fill some more time in here because half the episode is just Sam and Lois trying to confront Lucy. They're in a big barn or a big warehouse or something just outside of a building for half of this episode, just standing around safely distanced. You know, it's like everyone who's a main cast member is close, everyone in the background is standing 6 feet apart. It's noticeable, and it really affected my enjoyment of this episode. I think this must be where, like, the crunch started. Maybe they had this location early on, and they're like, let's really focus on this. But I know they kind of film these in succession, so maybe that's not the case. And somebody who was the director that day is just like, nope, there was an outbreak. We're filming safely today. Everyone pay attention. I get that. It's fine. That storyline, it had a very anticlimactic conclusion, but I get it, okay? I get it completely. There's stuff where Lana is dealing with her husband again because she kind of gets mad that Kyle's like, Sarah performed here. And she's like, wow, that's bad. She's a minor and your little flame works there, so maybe you shouldn't have done that. And they have a nice moment where they kind of confront each other like rational adults, decide they should just have a family dinner, and things go perfectly and things are going well. That's nice. I like that Kyle is just a nice guy. You know, he's hanging out with the firefighters, trying to get his daughter out there and just experiencing these things because Sarah actually liked doing it. So it's like, yeah, he's trying to be a good dad and he's actually succeeding. Unlike Clark, who says he's going to go work on chores with his sons, takes Jordan on a flying lesson and leaves John all alone to do the chores himself. Look, they're doing a great job at this, and that is just establishing that either John or Jordan could take a heel turn. Jordan goes to confront Lana like, I love your daughter, please let me see her. She's like, get the hell away from me, you freaky kid. It's not fair to her. You're a weirdo. No, go listen to some Radiohead. So he leaves. And so it's like, is he going to go bad? Is he going to confront Sarah and do this mean stuff? Is that what Jordan going to do? And John's like, hey, I screwed up everybody's lives in my high school. Everybody hates me, and now my dad abandoned me to go fly with his favorite son. Well, not favorite son, but the favorite son, you know? Like, I get it. I think John could be going down a certain path, and it's very built into his character. He was the center of attention when we first saw him, and now he's being humbled in ways that are almost insurmountable to a young person. That sucks. Poor kid. He deserves better. But it's a lot to deal with. The flying lesson was great when Jordan just kind of like jumps off the side of a Arctic cliff, learns to fly. that was cool. It looked pretty good. Sometimes you did notice like, yeah, this is a CW budget. But overall, they've done a great job of showing it's not just some cheesy ass CW show. It's looking great. I really like the way that looked. I like that when Clark's like, here's a flight pattern I made up called the Kessel Run. Jordan's like, what's that? Like, you play Mortal Kombat almost every day, bro. I am amazed you don't know what the Kessel Run is. But, okay, if that's what you're going to convince yourself, sure. And maybe that's a generational thing where it's like, we know video games and Sniper Wolf for some reason, but we don't know Star Wars. And I'm like, what? Everybody knows Star Wars, but okay. I'll buy that. If that's what happens, okay. Another subplot is John Henry trying to get Natalie not to wear the suit, but ultimately we know she wears it, and it looks great. I know I said that already. It just looks amazing. But again, the majority of this episode is the stuff with Lois, Lucy, Lois. So many L's in this, so many LLs in this. They even make that joke at the beginning of the episode in a flashback. Lucy, Lois, and Sam confronting each other in a safe distance. It wasn't that great. And I guess we also do see that Allie was like, here's my plan. I'm going to go back to the Bizarro world. I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to be whole. Look what I can do. Merge the worlds. That's the big plan now. That's where we're going for these final 2 episodes. The merging of the worlds is. Which makes me wonder if we're actually going to merge the worlds for a minute. And we're going to imprint some power onto John because of that. Or maybe the power of John-El gets put into John for some reason, and then we have the Super Sons or something. I don't know. Very curious. This episode was a lot of things. Great wasn't one of them. And that's fine. It's television. Not every episode's going to be a banger. This close to the finale, we have the penultimate and the finale left. I'm fine with a little bit of roughness in the weeds, you know? If everything was golden, nothing would be golden. But it was still solid. It looked fine. The acting was hit or miss. The COVID really affected it. The filler was so apparent where nothing truly happened until the last couple minutes. And it just puts your man in a coma. We'll heal him up again. Or Tal-Rel will come in and heal him up again. Bada bing, bada boom. Reign of the Supermen. Bada bing, bada boom. Big tease next year. Who's to say? Also, I do want to say this. Discovery and Warner Brothers are kind of like having a big say about the DC universe right now. And they're like, we gotta get Henry Cavill back as Superman. Look, man, I know you're not listening to this, but the guy who runs Discovery, whatever your name is, Zabumafu, I think is what they call you, you don't need Cavill back. Here's what you need. 8 episodes, bigger budget, this cast, HBO Max. Bigger budget, or you know what, even a spinoff. Solo adventure for Superman, not with these casts. You get Tyler to come in the stuff we use for The Mandalorian, film it on Warworld, film it on Mars, film it on Brainiac's ship. You could do anything separate. You don't need Cavill back. You have the best Superman on television, and now you put him in a coma. Hopefully he comes back okay, but if not, I get it. Filler episode, filler review. Watch it or don't, but I appreciate you if you did. And yes, Superman. I don't know where I was going with that. I'm tired when I'm filming this. It's been a long day. I'm filming this very late at night. Watch Superman and Lois. There's the ending of that. So thank you guys so much for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. As always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.